Welcome to Africa Good Morning, your portal into Africa's most potent stories. This edition opens up with Aliko Dangote's billion-dollar investment pledge in Zimbabwe, followed by energy expansion talks in Zambia with President Hichilema, and the African Union dismisses Donald Trump's genocide accusations in Nigeria, while President Ramaphosa rebukes Trump's G20 boycott in South Africa. We also unpack Google's R688 million media support deal and bring you developments from Namibia, including the inauguration of the Dr. Hage Geingob Freeway and highlights from the Bank of Namibia annual symposium on the creative industries. You can watch on DSTV 285, GoTV Channel 25, ntvafrica.my.na, and of course on YouTube. Now, getting into our top stories, we start off with Dangote's pledge. Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, has returned to Zimbabwe after nearly a decade, announcing plans to invest over $1 billion across key sectors including cement, coal, mining, power generation, and fuel supply. Speaking after meeting President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Harare, Dangote said the country's improved transparency and reformed business climate restored his confidence, contrasting it with his failed 2015 venture under former President Robert Mugabe. His earlier plans to develop the Sengwa coal fields and a 2,800 megawatt power plant collapsed due to bureaucracy and corruption, compounded by restrictions that barred investors from charging electricity tariffs in foreign currency. Now, Zimbabwe now allows independent power producers to set tariffs and repatriate profits, a policy shift Dangote called vital for investment. The new projects align with the government's drive to industrialize, add value to local resources, and create jobs. Dangote Industries Limited, operating across cement, sugar, oil, and fertilizer sectors, views Zimbabwe as a strategic hub linking Southern Africa's energy and trade routes through Namibia's Walvis Bay. Moving over to Zambia, Zambia is preparing for a major investment in its energy sector following discussions between President Hakainde Hichilema and Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, at State House in Lusaka on November 12th. The meeting focused on expanding Dangote's group operations in Zambia to drive job creation, industrial growth, and economic diversification. Hichilema reaffirmed his government's commitment to providing a transparent, investor-friendly environment under its economic reform program. Dangote's conglomerate, spanning across cement, sugar, salt, oil refining, and petrochemicals in over 10 African countries, has played a central role in the continent's industrialization. His $19 billion Lagos refinery is set to reshape Africa's energy landscape, and Now, the possible move into Zambia marks a significant milestone for Lusaka's investment ambitions. The president praised Dangote's leadership as a model of determination and vision while expanding readiness to partner with the private sector to unlock national growth. The engagement signals growing investor confidence in Zambia's stability and reform agenda, offering opportunities for economic transformation and global collaboration. In our next story, African Union Commission Chairperson Mahamudu Ali Yusuf has dismissed claims by U.S. President Donald Trump that genocide is taking place in northern Nigeria. Speaking at the United Nations in New York, Yusuf said the situation in Nigeria cannot be compared to the atrocities in Sudan or the United Nations in New York or the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. He emphasized that the first victims of Boko Haram are Muslims, not Christians, highlighting that the insurgency has killed tens of thousands over the past 15 years. Now, Trump had threatened military action and the suspension of aid to Nigeria, accusing its government of failing to protect Christians, though he offered no evidence. Nigeria's foreign ministry responded by affirming its commitment to combating violent extremism and protecting all citizens regardless of religion. With over 200 ethnic groups and a mix of Christianity, Islam, and traditional faiths, Nigeria has experienced both coexistence and periodic violence linked to resource and ethnic tensions. Yusuf urged caution in making such inflammatory statements that could misrepresent the country's complex security situation. Moving over to South Africa, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has criticized U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to skip the G20 summit in Johannesburg, calling it their loss and saying boycott politics achieves nothing. Trump said no U.S. officials would attend due to claims that white people, particularly Afrikaners, are being persecuted in South Africa, claims the government calls discredited and unsupported by evidence. The G20 summit, scheduled for November 22nd to November 23rd, will be the first hosted on African soil, with South Africa chairing the group of the world's largest economies. Ramaphosa said the U.S., as the world's biggest economy, is abandoning its role by staying away. Trump stated he would send Vice President J.D. Vance, instead alleging farm seizures and killings of white citizens, and said no officials would attend until alleged abuses stop. He added that Afrikaner refugees would be welcomed into the U.S. Ramaphosa reaffirmed that decisions would proceed regardless, emphasizing that engagement, not absence, drives meaningful outcomes. Now, closing off our top stories, South Africa's Competition Commission has announced a 688 million rand or $40 million media funding package from Google and YouTube following a probe into digital platforms. Now, the final report of the Media and Digital Platforms Market Inquiry detailed how major technology firms, including Google, Meta, Microsoft, TikTok, and X, have disrupted traditional media revenues and news distribution. The funding will support national, community, and non-English media through innovation grants, licensing, and capacity building initiatives. Google said the investment aligns with its global commitment to help news partners adapt to digital transformation, emphasizing that sustaining journalism requires collaboration across industry, government, and multiple platforms. Now, the Commission said YouTube will help South African outlets monetize their content, while Meta will provide ad credits, resources, and training. TikTok has committed to new publisher support programs, and X Corp must now offer all its monetization features in South Africa. Inquiry Chair James Hodge confirmed most companies agreed to the remedies, which Minister Parks-Tau will present to Parliament for implementation. That brings us to the end of our top stories. Let's take a quick ad break and thereafter take a look at the weather predictions.
Life is unpredictable and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
In a world where politicians promise the moon and deliver potholes, where democracy sometimes arrives in camouflage and ballots often look like formalities, one show dares to laugh with Africa, at Africa, and sometimes for Africa. This is Second Take, your weekly dose of political satire with an African soul and a global edge. From coups disguised as press briefings to ministers moonwalking past accountability, we serve the real news with sharper writing. Each week we bring you the TikTok of the week, because sometimes the revolution is vertical, and the heartwarming moment of the week to remind us that not everything is burning. We also sit down with the bold, the brilliant, and the brave, voices that question power, stir thought, and spark laughter. Because when the headlines are wild, the leaders are louder, and the truth is lost in translation, we all need a second take.
Now let's get into some news videos from Namibia. The Roads Authority RA has officially inaugurated the newly upgraded Dr. Hage Geingob Freeway, which connects Windhoek to Hosea Kutako International Airport, a major investment valued at over 3 billion Namibian dollars. Works and Transport Minister Veiko Nkundi, speaking on behalf of President Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, said the freeway will improve traffic flow, enhance road safety and boost economic activity by strengthening Namibia's transport and logistics network. He added that the project formed part of the Harambee Prosperity Plan and honors the legacy of the late President Dr. Hage Gottfried Geingob, whose leadership championed major infrastructure development. In our next story, outgoing Roads Authority CEO Dr. Conrad Lutombi has hailed the appointment of Hippi Shivikwa as his successor, describing him as the right man to lead the institution forward. Speaking at the inauguration of the Dr. Hage Geingob Freeway yesterday, Dr. Lutombi praised the Roads Authority Board and the Minister of Works and Transport for swiftly completing the recruitment process, noting that while many organizations take years to appoint a CEO, the board managed to identify and appoint the right candidate within just 2 months, ensuring a smooth leadership transition. Let's have a look.
Get the right person. Many organizations takes 2 years, 3 years to recruit a CEO. It took us 2 months, if not less, Comrade Minister, for this board to find the right person and appoint. So this man, he's the right man. He is the right man. Congratulations. So, Comrade Minister, we have said to our board, you will be seeing this man wherever we are going, so that there is a smooth transition. He understands. We will give him all our toolbox and how to use those, including what we have used as rituals, and make him heavy. So don't worry. Good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We are proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah says that all citizens deserve access to potable water. Nandi-Ndaitwah made the remark yesterday afternoon at Inanna during the inauguration of the Ohangwena 2 wellfield project. Following the inauguration, residents of Omafo, Omakango, Inanna will be supplied with potable water. Let's have a look.
A well-known fact that access to safe and reliable water is not a privilege. It is a human right and a fundamental human dignity. And that's why the Namibian government has consistently demonstrated its dedication to ensure that all citizens have access to reliable water supply that meets national standards in both quantity and quality. Since independence, our government has placed the water security at the heart of our developmental agenda. From Kunene to Karas, from Zambezi to Atlantic Coast, we are committed to ensure that every community, every school, every hospital, and every household has access to clean and safe water.
We'll now take a quick ad break and return with some more news from Namibia.
Have you ever wondered why Grandma keeps her money under the mattress? And why is Angela uninsured? The Namibia Financial Inclusion Survey 2025 will help us find all the answers. From 6 October till the 4th of November 2025, the Namibia Statistics Agency teams in uniforms with tablets will visit homes across all 14 regions to learn about financial access, informal banking and saving habits. Email us at info@nsa.org.na or at 061 431 3200.
Closing off our News from Namibia segment, at the Bank of Namibia Annual Symposium, Unleashing the Power of the Creative Industries, Dr. Johannes Kavagab underscored the need to nurture Namibia's creative talent, stressing that the nation's challenge lies not in a lack of skill, but in the absence of adequate platforms and support. He further proposed the establishment of an artists' fund to strengthen the creative ecosystem. Delivering remarks on behalf of President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Minister Sanet Steenkamp highlighted the creative sector as a key driver of inclusive growth, urging a shift from resource dependence to innovation-driven development. Echoing those sentiments, musician Big Ben lamented the shortage of performance venues and aging infrastructure. The symposium ended on a hopeful note, inspiring collective commitment to revitalizing Namibia's creative economy.
How can Namibia harness the creative sector as a driver of economic transformation? This question challenges us to shift our perspective, to see creativity not merely as a culture or entertainment, but as an economic enabler, frontier capable of unlocking innovation, deepening diversification, and most importantly, creating jobs and restoring dignity. The Namibian creative landscape is active and diverse. It includes musicians, designers, painters, filmmakers, writers, digital creators, visual artists, craftspeople, and cultural entrepreneurs in every region. These individuals and enterprises shape how we see ourselves and how the world sees us. They tell our national story. They are our storytellers. They are instrumental in promoting inclusion, generating employment, and driving innovation. They demonstrate that culture is not just soft power. Culture is economic power. Currently, Namibia's creative sector contributes 1.5% to gross domestic product, but our aspiration, as spelled out by the President in the National Development Plan, is to take that contribution to 3% over the next 5 years. The importance of nurturing our creative ecosystem cannot be overstated. It lies at the intersection of economic growth and job creation. Imagine a Namibia where every young person is educated, empowered, employed, and engaged in meaningful work. That is the vision we all share. A future filled with opportunity, a future filled with potential. However, we must confront the challenges that have hindered our progress. Our creatives are not lacking in talent. They are stifled by the absence of financing, faced with disorganization within the sector, and limited by a dearth of opportunities. To catalyze growth and innovation, we must leverage technology to scale our reach to a global audience. Through social media and other tools, creatives can monetize their talents, skills, and knowledge, whether through brand deals, digital products, subscription services, or even merchandise. As we know, innovation compounds. It promotes the development of new ideas and solutions, while technology enables us to share them with the world. I'm heartened by the commitment of the Namibian government to privatize creative industries as a crucial driver of economic growth and job creation. This recognition is a testament to the valuable role that creativity plays in our society. At the recently concluded Namibia Public-Private Forum, Her Excellency the President of the Republic outlined a national vision of creating 500,000 jobs over the next 5 years. That is a remarkable and ambitious vision, necessary for a youthful country whose greatest hunger is not only for opportunity, but for platforms to contribute meaningfully to the nation's future.
Digital natives of this generation is clear. I wish for you, as President, that you move from being consumers of global content to producers of uniquely Namibian stories, products, and ideas. Your creativity should not be perceived as a pastime. You have to understand that it is an economic force and you must respect it as such, and that it is your contribution to nation building. Therefore, we wish for you to embrace the opportunities in the film, fashion, in music, in all that has been mentioned, crafts, all in the creative industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge us all, therefore, to align our policies, our institutions, and our imagination to build a Namibia that is not only stable and resource-rich, but also creative, innovative, and opportunity-rich.
All right, so as a musician looking locally here, I'll pinpoint a couple of things. One, wherever you are in Namibia, there are not sufficient performance venues. And please, when I speak about music, I also want you to look at it from the point of view of any other discipline. So, meaning also the visual artist has no place to exhibit their works. The old community halls that were built with halls with roofs as high as this one, with acoustics that sound like it was meant to be a torture device, torture chamber where you would thrown in and people would hit cans and the noise would just overwhelm you until you confess to your crimes. Those halls, I don't know what they served back in the days. They've not been renovated for over 30 years. Even our town hall meetings when we had our late president were not flowing that well because they couldn't hear each other. But that's all the halls or performance venues that we have in Karebe, in Omaruru, in Ucho. That's all we have.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Africa Good Morning. From me, Diana Master, have yourselves a fantastic Friday.